This is Weighted Opinions.
What is up, my friends? It is time for episode 26 of Weighted Opinions. You already know, it's the show where I put ideas on the bar and see what they actually weigh. And today, we're talking about one of the biggest lies that people tell themselves. Not maliciously, not intentionally, but repeatedly. And it would go something like this: I want things to change, followed immediately by, but I don't want to change anything. And somehow people are still shocked when nothing improves. That's why today's episode is called You Can't Heal in the Same Habits That Made You Sick, and trying to fix your life without changing anything is a bold strategy. Bold, I say, not stupid. Now, before anybody gets defensive, I'm not just talking about physical health, which is shocking, I know. I'm talking about your body, your mindset, your relationships, your finances, your confidence, and your happiness. Because the truth is, most people are trying to build a better future while refusing to leave the behaviors that created their current reality. So, we're going to talk about it, all right? Now, we have this human desire for magic, right? People love a good transformation. They just hate transition, and the two go hand in hand, right? Everybody wants confidence and health and success and peace and discipline, but very few are willing to put up with discomfort. They don't want sacrifice. They don't want accountability. They don't want consistency. And most of all, they don't want change. But everybody wants them six-pack abs. Am I right? Nobody wants to stop eating like they're celebrating a national holiday or somebody's birthday every Tuesday, right? Everybody wants less stress. Amen. Hallelujah to that. I'm not even religious. Nobody wants to put their damn phone down, myself included. Everybody wants better relationships. And nobody wants to have any damn difficult conversations. It's quite fascinating, isn't it? So, what are we then? Well, that's a great question. And you are living in the results of your habits. Let's get into an uncomfortable truth here. Your life today is largely the result of your repeated behaviors. Correct. Not just your intentions. No. Not your dreams. That would be lovely, but it's not how it works. Not your Pinterest board. Do people still do that? Did I just date myself? Should we talk about MySpace while we're here? No, back on track. Not your Pinterest board, not your habits. The things you do consistently become the life you live eventually. That's a gem, right? Somebody should write that down. Put some quotations, put my name on it. The things you do consistently become the life you live eventually. And this is where people are going to get stuck. They want new results while protecting old habits. It sucks, I know. I want the new me, but I love the old me. Oh no, what are we going to do? Well, let's break you out of what I like to call the comfort prison. Okay? If you are being honest, you're not trapped, but you act like you are because you're comfortable. See what I'm doing? I'm tying all of these episodes together lately. You're comfortable. Yeah. Well, you're unhappy? Maybe. Frustrated? Quite often. But comfortable enough to stay the same and be okay with it. And comfort is sneaky because, as I talked about in the last couple of weeks, it just whispers in your ear, this isn't great, but at least it's familiar. Better to trust the devil you know, sort of thing, right? So people stay put in the same routines, the same relationships, the same thought patterns, the same behaviors, and then wonder why the healing or the change never arrives. It's because you keep punching in a new destination into your GPS and only listening to the directives that you like or you're familiar with. Are you going to get there if you don't follow the roadmap? Nah, I don't think so. Probably sounds familiar to a lot of my personal training clients, doesn't it? Good. I hope you're listening. Let's carry on. Unrelated, but is my hat too bright? I chose it, even though I knew the white was going to be reflective and blinding. But has it distracted you? It's because I'm tired of people objectifying me for my glorious muscular development. Just kidding, I'm not. And whatever, it's a hat, get over it. Back on track. I want to talk about physical health. Okay, this one is obvious, or I think. You cannot sleep just 5 hours a night. You can't get away with eating ultra processed garbage. You cannot get away with never strength training. You can't avoid movement. It's part of life. And you can't drown in stress, right? But then you can't also act shocked when your energy is low, your inflammation is high, your confidence is way down in the dumps, or your health markers look absolutely atrocious. Kind of like when you got your report card back in school and you're like, shit, I hope my parents don't get mad at me. Same thing, except for you don't got parents watching over you and you can just validate your own bullshit, right? Yeah, it sucks. It sucks. So change it. Your body isn't betraying you, it's responding. Yeah. Does that one sting? Are you guys? It's a little upsetting, right? It's always responding. The body keeps score, okay? Even when you don't want it to, and especially when you don't want it to. It's the reality of the situation here. You can't cheat the rules, you can't color outside the lines and just expect to get something that you don't deserve. It's as simple as that. I'm going to dive into another one here that I like to call the Monday morning delusion, right? You know this person, and maybe you are this person. Every Sunday night, you're like, this week's different. This is my week. I got it. New week, new me. I don't know if people say that sounds stupid. But either way, every Sunday night, you're telling yourself, this week is different, right? I'm going to meal prep. I'm going to hit that new plan. I'm going to just get that fresh start. I'm going to read some motivational quote like, one day or day one, you choose. Shut up. I like that one. You got a fancy new water bottle, right? I'm part of the Stanley crew, so that's what's been holding me back from my success. No, it's not, Rebecca. You got a new personality. Maybe. You can wake up and choose whoever the heck you want to be. But by Tuesday afternoon, guess what? All that's gone. Yeah. By Friday, you're just eating matzo sticks while researching biohacking podcasts again, trying to optimize a system they've never even heard of or know how to consistently use. Does that sound familiar? We're on the frickin' warpath today. Let's go deeper on that. Your mental health works the same way. Oh, I know, this sucks. Jared, you're just yelling at us and telling us all these truths that we've drowned out and compartmentalized and buried deep down. Well, too bad. We're opening that can. Shut up and listen. You cannot heal your mind while feeding it poison. And no, I'm not talking about food. Okay, that's a whole different topic. I am talking about doom scrolling until 1 a.m. Your constant comparison to people that have been photoshopped and who are enhanced and on drugs and this, that, and the other thing. The constant negativity that's out there all the time. The 100% surrounded by, stuck in the middle of gossip that the world runs on. Okay? This new freaking victimhood that everybody suffers from. Like, gag me. Or just outrage and addiction at the end of the day, right? Some people spend 6 hours a day consuming anxiety and then wonder why they're anxious. Shit, I don't know. I'll have it's completely fucking obvious for 1,000, please, Alex. You can't keep drinking from a poisoned well and complain about the taste. Relationships are no different. They're not exempt from this either. And this one might hurt and hit home for more of us than it does. You cannot heal your relationship patterns while repeating the same choices. Okay? You cannot just ignore red flags forever or avoid boundaries, whether they're yours or somebody else's. You cannot tolerate disrespect. You teach people how to treat you. Okay? And you cannot fear being alone. If you fear being alone, maybe look deeper and wonder why you don't want to be alone with yourself. Is it because you're unhappy? You don't love yourself? You're not stoked about it and being with somebody else distracts you from all that? Ah, fuck, introspection. You didn't tell me you were going to sneak that in there. God, this whole thing sucks and it hurts my feelings. Good, get used to it. Yeah, you can't do all those things, right? And just expect different outcomes. At some point, you have to stop asking, why does this keep happening to me? And start asking, why do I keep allowing it? That's where the growth might just begin. Whoo-wee. Let's keep it going. Okay, so I'm now going to touch on the identity problem here. And this is where it might get really uncomfortable, right? A lot of people do not have a habit problem, they have an identity problem because your habits flow directly downstream from your identity, right? If you identify as lazy or overwhelmed, unlucky, broken, anxious, toxic, any of them, your behavior will follow because they're in line with your character traits and how you define yourself. But if you flip the script, change the lens that you're looking through, and you identify as disciplined or resilient, maybe accountable, adaptable, or capable, here's the shocking part: everything changes. Why? Because you stop negotiating with yourself and you start acting in line and acting accordingly with your new personality traits, your new identity, right? Why do people struggle with this? Well, here's the big one. Healing requires betraying your old self. Yeah, it sucks. So I'll just shoot straight with you. Healing is uncomfortable because it requires letting parts of yourself die. I go through this so many times, so often with a lot of my clients, that in order to become the new version of themselves that they've told me they want to be, they have to let the old version go. But it's like we're in war and they're like, no man left behind, and dragging their old self behind. They're like, we gotta keep them alive. They're a survivor. They gotta come with us. But the old versions of you fucked you up. They got you in this mess. So why are you so concerned about dragging that dead ass weight along with you? Right? So old parts of you or old versions of you have to die. And I don't mean literally parts of you. Not like, oh, I got to sacrifice my left arm's dead now if I want to become this new person. Like, no, you idiot. But older versions of you, old habits, old routines, old excuses. The fucking excuses, I swear. The shit I hear on the daily basis. Nobody's better at validating your own bullshit than you. And guess what? If you believe your bullshit, it doesn't matter if anybody else does, because anytime your brain conjures that shit up, you're like, yup, sounds good to me. I believe it. And you just validate whatever the fuck you want so you can keep acting like a stupid, petulant little child who just ignores the rules and then gets mad when the game doesn't say you win at the end of it. That was a tangent. Yes, old versions of you, as in your habits, your routines, your excuses, they are all freaking coping mechanisms. And when people have to let those go, they grieve it. Like grandma just died and you're at a funeral. Those habits have been hurting you. What the hell are you sad about? Let it go. Oh, here's why. Because familiar pain feels safer than that unfamiliar growth in that uncharted territory. I would rather be miserable in a storm than stay in this frickin' toxic whirlwind or hell cycle that I'm stuck in. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just my logic, but it sounds pretty frickin' on point to me. I don't know. Anyways, we're going to keep moving on. I'm not going to sugarcoat this part. I'm going to be direct. I'm going to shoot straight, and I might go off on a tangent. Who cares? Sit there. Enjoy the rest of this. The brutal truth here is if the habits that got you into this mess remain untouched, nothing changes. Not now, not ever, nothing. You need to hear it again. Nothing changes. Yeah, this is your future forever. Do you want to stay here until you die miserable? I didn't think so. So, what are we going to do? Well, I'll tell you what you can't do. You cannot think your way into a new life. You cannot wish your way into a new body, and trust me, I've seen it tried countless times for longer periods than I thought anybody would commit to, and then they blame me when they don't get there at the end of the day. Is that shit crazy? Yes, it is, but that's a them problem and not a me problem. Me a problem? I'm a little Italian. Who knew? I pick on it every podcast, so this one's not any different. You can't manifest your way into discipline, okay? What is all this manifest bullshit with everything nowadays? Just shut up. Wake up early, work hard, okay? You can't manifest your way into discipline. Eventually, you have to do the work. The boring work. The repeatable work. The unglamorous work. And the work nobody claps for or gives a shit about. Right? But the good news, and there is good news, this is the beautiful part, okay, is you don't need to change everything. You just need to change something consistently, right? I always tell my clients, Conscious effort becomes subconscious routine. So if you consciously put effort into something, it just becomes part of your routine. And then you don't really have to think about it or put effort into it because it's just in your subconscious and you just go through it. Then you can improve another something and another something until all of a sudden you've overhauled your entire life. I know, what a crazy system. It's almost like just focus on the next step ahead of you instead of looking at the end goal. Because that can be overwhelming, but little steps forward, you'd be surprised how far you get. But you need to do that consistently, not just when you feel like it or when it's convenient. And now, most people dramatically overestimate what they can do in a week. Yeah, they set this massive feat of accomplishment, like I'm talking colossal, titan-sized, like this is what my week is going to look like. And there's no shot, which means it's just going to be demotivating or shitty at the end of the week when you fall short. But the flip side of that is they massively underestimate what they can do in a year. A year is a long time. If you just change and improve one thing a week, which isn't a lot, you just need to work on it for 7 days. It can be like a 5-minute habit. That is 52 things you can improve in your life in a year. Where would you be if you improved 52 things you don't like to do or you're not good at? You'd be an entirely unrecognizable person to the people that haven't seen you for that year, right? So tiny changes, repeated daily, become entirely new lives. It is a simple formula. It is easily attainable. It is right there at everybody's fingertips. Nobody is out of reach of this. All right? So let's talk about a mirror moment here. And now let me ask you something. What is one habit in your life right now that you know is making you sick or not contributing to your success? It can be physically, mentally, emotionally, even spiritually. Yeah? You already know what it is. I haven't even given you like a let's pause for a second. You already know what's holding your ass back. The answer showed up before I even finished asking this question because it's like that nagging, like check engine light. And you're like, shut the fuck up. It still runs. I'm okay. Like, yeah. But the answer did. I know it did. It showed up before I was done asking that question. And that's good because that is where the work starts. Do the shit you least want to do first. And then that snowball just gets rolling downhill and you pick up momentum going. Crazy strategy, huh? Sounds pretty simple, and it is, but your ass still has to show up and go to work. It's not easy, but it's better than the alternative. Think about it for a second. We're going to keep moving on. We're almost done here. Oh, I know. It's heartbreaking. We've come to that part of the podcast that is the closing shot, which means it's almost over. But, oh my God, Jared, we've had so much fun in you poking the scabs and addressing all the things we like to ignore that we've compartmentalized and shoved way, way, way down, that now you've brought up this, this sickness of emotion that's bubbling up and coming up. Oh, now I feel sick. Yeah, doesn't matter. You got to work on it, okay? The closing shot here. Your healing is not found in your comfort, your avoidance, your excuses, or the endless preparation for like, I just got to be ready for what's next. You can't be prepared for every bridge, okay? Just chill out. Just take life as it comes. Healing lives in change, and change requires action. So stop waiting for that motivation to kick in, perfect timing, or absolute certainty. Because guess what? None of those are coming, and they never do. You're waiting at the bus stop for a bus that's never going to come. And then you're going to be this old person that's like, where'd my bus? Did I miss the bus? Yeah, you missed the bus while you're waiting for shit to be perfect, and it's never perfect. So pull your pants up and get to work, okay? The version of you that you want to become is waiting on the other side of the habits you are refusing to let go of. Ah, did that one get you? That got me. I got stuff too. I felt that one. You want it again? That version of you that you want to become is waiting on the other side of the habits you are refusing to let go of. And until you do, you're going to stay exactly where you are. Yeah, that's a truth bomb. We're going to end it there. So, if this episode made you uncomfortable, good. If it made you think, perfect. Because if you're thinking, then you're growing, and that's my goal here. So as always, if you could like, comment, share, subscribe, they all help out the channel so I can grow this beyond just my little community here and offer this valuable information to so many others that need to hear it. Please, let's do it. Help a guy out here. Start right now. Take action. Why haven't you done it? Take action. Stop leaning on those old habits. You're being lazy. You're waiting for perfect timing. Do it. Share it. Share it. Do it. Click it now. All right, that's enough. As always, I have to call that one person out, right? So let's send this to that one friend who's been trying to change their life for the longest period of time while protecting every habit that's keeping them stuck. The one that's like, oh, I was going to, but I was just about to. And then this, oh my God, you're not going to believe it. You're right. None of us believe it. Shut up. Start doing stuff. Send it to them. We all know exactly who they are. So until next time, my friends, stay honest, stay evolving, and most importantly, stay glorious.
This is weighted opinions from me and my best friends. Let me have your attention for all the stuff we will mention. Spitting all truth with fun, so unclench your bum because I'm about to take off and run.